China, a land of vast landscapes, ancient wonders, and a culture that stretches back over 5,000 years. It is one of the oldest civilizations in the world, with stories carved into mountains, written on scrolls, and whispered through generations. From the snow-capped peaks of the Himalayas in the west, to the misty rice terraces in the south, from the windswept deserts of the north to the bustling cities of the east, China is a country of breathtaking diversity. Here, the old and the new live side by side. Towering skyscrapers touch the clouds above streets lined with temples, tea houses, and lanterns that glow like fireflies after sunset. The rhythm of life flows through ancient traditions, through festivals, cuisine, art, and music, all shaped by thousands of years of history. In the heart of this nation lies a rich tapestry of people and languages. Over 50 ethnic groups call China home, each with their own customs, dress, and ways of life. The Mandarin language is the most spoken in the world, yet within China, countless dialects echo through valleys and cities alike. Nature in China is as dramatic as its history. There are bamboo forests where pandas roam, limestone peaks rising like dragons from the earth, and rivers that have shaped both land and civilization. The Yangtze and the Yellow River are more than waterways. They are lifelines deeply woven into the soul of this country. It stretches across mountains, deserts, and grasslands, a colossal thread of stone and earth winding through the heart of northern China. The Great Wall is not just a wall, it is a symbol of resilience, a monument to human ambition, and one of the most iconic structures ever built. Construction began more than 2,000 years ago, during the time of the early dynasties. Over centuries it was expanded, rebuilt, and reinforced by emperors who ruled different parts of a divided land. The purpose was simple but vital: protection. It served as a barrier against invasions from the north, and as a way to control borders, trade, and migration. But the wall was more than just a military defense. Watchtowers dotted its length, served as early warning systems, where fires and smoke signals carried messages faster than riders could. Fortresses and garrisons housed soldiers who spent their lives in isolation, guarding distant stretches under harsh skies and brutal winds. Built by the hands of millions, soldiers, peasants, prisoners, and craftsmen, the wall is a testament to sacrifice. The labor was grueling, the terrain was unforgiving. Many never returned home. Legends speak of the sorrow and strength left behind in each stone. Hidden behind towering red walls and golden roofs lies a world that once belonged only to emperors. The Forbidden City, in the heart of Beijing, is the largest ancient palace complex on Earth, a masterpiece of architecture, symbolism, and imperial power. For nearly 5 centuries, it was the center of Chinese rule. 24 emperors of the Ming and Qing dynasties lived, governed, and performed sacred rituals within its gates. For the common people, it was a place of mystery, forbidden, sealed off from everyday life, its name whispered with awe. Construction began in the early 15th century. Over 1 million workers carved out a city within a city, using stone, wood, and dreams shaped by Confucian ideals and cosmic harmony. The layout was designed according to strict principles: symmetry, balance, and a belief in the connection between the heavens and the earth. Within the walls are nearly 1,000 rooms. Each hall, courtyard, and chamber served a purpose. Grand ceremonies were held in vast open squares. Behind them, shaded corridors led to private quarters where emperors studied, slept, and made decisions that shaped a nation. Every detail carries meaning. The color yellow, symbolizing the emperor, covers the rooftops. At the very heart of Beijing lies a space both vast and solemn. Tiananmen Square, open and expansive, it is one of the largest public squares in the world. Here, history has marched, gathered, and unfolded in full view. Tiananmen means the gate of heavenly peace. The square takes its name from the towering gate on its northern side, a gateway that once led directly into the Forbidden City. From its balcony, emperors once made proclamations, and in later centuries, it became a stage for shaping the modern Chinese nation. The square, as it stands today, began to take form in the 20th century. It became a symbol of unity, power, and people. Massive in scale, it stretches wide under open skies, lined with monumental buildings, each one telling its own part of the national story. To the east stands the National Museum of China, preserving art, culture, and relics from ancient dynasties to modern times. To the west, the Great Hall of the People hosts important political gatherings and ceremonies. At the center lies the monument to the people's heroes, a granite obelisk honoring those who gave their lives in struggles across Chinese history. Nearby, the mausoleum of Chairman Mao rests beneath a glass structure visited by millions each year. High on a hill above the city of Lhasa, where the sky stretches deep and blue, rises a structure like no other, the Potala Palace. Majestic, silent, and sacred, it stands as a spiritual and architectural jewel of Tibetan culture. Built more than 3 centuries ago and rising over 13 stories high, the palace was once the winter residence of the Dalai Lamas. But it is far more than a royal home. It is a symbol of Tibetan Buddhism, a treasure house of devotion, and a place of pilgrimage for countless believers. The white walls and red towers of Potala blend naturally with the surrounding mountains, as if the palace were born from the very rock itself. Its design follows deep spiritual meaning, the white representing peace and compassion, the red signifying power and wisdom. Inside, a world of silence and reverence unfolds. Dim corridors lead to golden chapels filled with incense and prayer. Statues of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas and saints glow under candlelight. Sacred texts line the shelves of ancient libraries. Pilgrims move slowly, spinning prayer wheels and chanting softly with each step. The palace contains thousands of rooms, meditation halls, tombs of previous Dalai Lamas, and spaces for teaching, learning, and prayer. In the heart of Hunan province, where mist curls through deep valleys and silence lingers between the trees, stands a landscape unlike anywhere else on Earth, Zhangjiajie National Forest Park. Here, nature does not follow the ordinary. It soars, floats, and defies gravity. Towering sandstone pillars rise like stone giants, shaped by millions of years of wind and rain. Some stand alone, others form deep ravines and narrow bridges high above the forest floor. Shrouded in fog, they seem to drift in mid-air, a dreamlike world suspended between earth and sky. These natural columns inspired the floating mountains in a famous science fiction film, but long before that, they were sacred to local people and whispered about in legend. Many have names like Avatar, Hailuogou Mountain, but others are simply known by their shapes, the Heaven Pillar, the Southern Sky Column, or the Bridge Across the Sky. The forest below is rich and ancient. Trails wind through dense bamboo, beneath waterfalls and over crystal streams. Wild monkeys chatter from the cliffs, eagles circle above. Everywhere, life moves quietly under the shelter of stone. Suspended walkways and glass bridges stretch across dizzying gaps. Tucked deep within the mountains of northern Sichuan lies a hidden world of color and calm, Jiuzhaigou Valley. A place where water, forest, and stone weave together in quiet harmony, untouched by time and glowing with natural magic. The name means Valley of Nine Villages, named after the small Tibetan settlements that have lived here for centuries. But it is the land itself that feels sacred. A high-altitude wonderland, where turquoise lakes stretch like mirrors and waterfalls tumble over cliffs in silver ribbons. The waters of Jiuzhaigou are unlike any others. Clear as crystal, they reflect every cloud, tree, and mountain in vivid detail. Minerals in the water give each lake its own shade: sapphire, emerald, jade. Some shimmer in multiple colors at once, like a painter's palette spilled across the valley floor. Forests cover the slopes in layers of green and gold, home to countless birds and rare animals. The giant panda once roamed these hills. Golden monkeys still leap through the branches, unseen but always present. In autumn, the leaves burst into flame, turning the whole valley into a painting of fire and light. In eastern China, where the clouds drift low and the earth rises in silence, the yellow mountains emerge like a dream from stone and mist. Known in Chinese as Huangshan, this mountain range is more than a natural wonder. It is a living symbol of beauty, inspiration, and timeless spirit. The peaks here are not ordinary. They rise like stone islands above a sea of clouds, their jagged forms sculpted by wind, rain, and time beyond measure. Each mountain holds a name and a story. Some are called Lotus Peak, Bright Summit, or Heavenly Capital. Others are simply watched in awe, their forms too strange for words. Scattered across the cliffs are ancient pine trees, twisted, strong, and clinging to life in impossible places. These trees, shaped by wind and perseverance, are as iconic as the mountains themselves. Their branches reach out like brushstrokes in an old painting, full of quiet strength and grace. For centuries, poets, painters, and monks have traveled to the Yellow Mountains in search of beauty and wisdom. They came not only for the view, but for what the mountains awaken within the heart: stillness, clarity, and the sense of being part of something eternal. Rising through the clouds in western Sichuan, Mount Emei stands tall, not just in height but in spirit. It is one of the 4 sacred Buddhist mountains of China, a place where nature and devotion meet in quiet harmony, high above the world below. For more than 2,000 years, pilgrims have climbed its winding paths, seeking wisdom, peace, and connection. The journey is not just physical, it is a spiritual ascent, where each step leads deeper into silence, deeper into the soul. The mountain is home to dozens of temples, some nestled in forests, others perched on cliffs with sweeping views over the land. Golden roofs shimmer in the sunlight. Prayer flags flutter in the wind. The air carries the scent of incense, the sound of chanting, and the hush of centuries passing slowly. One of the most revered spots is the Golden Summit. From here, the view opens in all directions. On clear days, the horizon stretches far beyond the edge of vision. And when conditions are just right, the sea of clouds rolls in like waves, and the mountain appears to float above the sky itself. At sunrise, a rare phenomenon can appear, a circular rainbow, known as the Buddha's halo, glowing gently around a shadow cast on the mist. Where 3 rivers meet in the green hills of Sichuan, a colossal figure watches over the waters, silent, serene, and carved from the heart of the mountain itself. This is the Leshan giant Buddha, a masterpiece of devotion and stone, standing as a guardian over the land for more than 1,000 years. He is not just a statue, he is presence, seated calmly with hands resting on his knees, his eyes cast gently down toward the river below. Even in stillness, he seems alive, aware, peaceful, eternal. Carved during the Tang dynasty, the project took the work of thousands over many decades. The goal was both spiritual and practical. The monk who began the work believed that the Buddha's gaze would calm the waters, protect passing boats, and bring balance to the natural forces that met at the confluence of rivers. The result is breathtaking. The Buddha's head alone is larger than a house. His feet could seat 100 people. His ears, eyes, and folds of robe are all carved with delicate care, precise yet grand, human yet divine. Nature has embraced him. Moss grows along his shoulders. Trees crown the cliffs that rise behind him. Wind and rain have softened his edges, but not his expression. In the heart of Hangzhou, where water meets willows and time moves gently, lies West Lake, a place where nature and poetry live side by side. For centuries, it has been the soul of the city, a mirror of both landscape and longing. West Lake is not grand in size, but its beauty lies in its harmony. Soft hills rise in the distance. Causeways stretch across the water like brushstrokes in a painting. Pavilions rest beneath curved rooftops. And lotus blossoms bloom quietly in summer, turning the lake into a field of floating light. Legends fill the air here. Every island, every bridge, every misty morning carries a story. Tales of love, loyalty, and immortality echo through the reeds and ripple across the surface. It is said that West Lake is not a place to see, but a place to feel. Poets of the past once wandered here with ink and silence, capturing the scenery in verse. Painters tried to follow with brush and color. Emperors came to escape the burdens of rule. And through the centuries, West Lake became a symbol of balance between water and sky, between man and nature. There are 10 famous scenes that locals cherish. In the far reaches of Gansu province, where desert winds sweep across the open plains, the earth unfolds in color, layer upon layer of reds, yellows, oranges, and blues. This is Zhangye Danxia National Geological Park, a landscape painted not by human hands, but by time itself. The hills and ridges here ripple like waves frozen in stone. Stripes of mineral-rich rock stretch across the land in endless patterns formed over millions of years. Iron, copper, and sandstone each add their hue to this natural masterpiece. The result is a canvas that changes with every step, every shadow, and every ray of sun. From a distance, the mountains seem unreal, as if born from a dream or imagined by an artist. Up close, the lines are delicate, precise, and endless. No two ridges are the same. No two moments look alike. When light hits the hills at dawn or dusk, the colors seem to glow from within. This land is known as Danxia, a term that means rosy cloud, and it speaks not only of color, but of movement, of transformation. Over ages, wind and rain carved the layers into sharp cliffs, narrow valleys, and sweeping formations that rise and fall like frozen waves. In the rolling hills of Guizhou, where rivers run wild and the forest breathes with ancient rhythm, a great curtain of water falls from the cliffs, powerful, elegant, and eternal. This is Huangguoshu Waterfall, one of the largest waterfalls in all of Asia, and the beating heart of a landscape shaped by both strength and grace. The name means yellow fruit tree, but what draws people here is not a tree. It is the thunder of water, the shimmer of mist, and the endless energy pouring down from the heavens. The waterfall stretches wide across the cliff face, and its main drop plunges from a height greater than 70 meters, roaring into the pool below. But Huangguoshu is not just one waterfall. It is part of a vast system, a chain of smaller falls, rivers, caves, and stone arches that weave through lush green valleys. Each cascade has its own rhythm. Some dance over rocks in delicate streams. Others crash with force and fury, echoing through the hills like distant drums. Beneath the main waterfall lies something rare, a naturally formed cave that passes behind the falling water. Visitors can walk inside this water curtain cave, standing between the rock and the rushing flow, watching the world through a veil of silver. It is a place where sound surrounds you, where time feels suspended. In the southern mountains of Yunnan, where clouds drift low and time walks slowly, a man-made wonder stretches across the hills, not built with stone or steel, but carved from earth and guided by hand. These are the Yunnan rice terraces, a living tapestry of water, soil, and sky. For more than 1,000 years, the Hani people have shaped these slopes into layers. Step by step, field by field, they transformed mountains into mirrors, catching the light of dawn and the colors of dusk in endless reflection. The terraces wind like ribbons down the valleys. Some are wide and still, others are narrow and curved like brushstrokes in a great painting. From above, the land looks like a dream, a mosaic of blue water, green shoots and golden harvests, changing with each season, each hour, each cloud that passes. In spring, the fields are filled with water, shining under the morning sun like glass. In summer, young rice turns the hillsides to waves of green. In autumn, the grain ripens into gold. And in winter, mist rolls through the valleys, hiding and revealing the terraces like a silent dance. This harmony between people and nature did not happen quickly. In the heart of Shanxi province, where jagged cliffs rise like ancient guardians of the sky, stands Mount Huashan, a sacred peak of mystery, courage, and timeless devotion. It is one of the 5 great mountains of China, known not only for its height, but for its spirit. Mount Huashan is not gentle, it is fierce. It stands proud and steep, with sharp ridgelines that cut through the clouds and stone faces that drop away into deep, silent valleys. Here, the air is thin, the wind is strong, and every step upward is earned. For centuries, pilgrims, poets, monks, and emperors have made the climb. They came seeking answers, visions, and sometimes themselves. The mountain does not offer comfort. What it gives instead is clarity, born through effort, silence, and awe. The 5 main peaks of Huashan rise like a great stone flower. The east peak greets the first light of dawn. The south peak, the highest, reaches into the sky with fearless grace. The west peak is known for its beauty, while the north and central peaks offer views that seem to belong to another world. Paths cling to cliffs, sometimes no wider than a single step. In the eastern reaches of Shandong, where sky and earth seem to meet in silent reverence, rises Mount Tai, a mountain not only of stone, but of spirit. For more than 3,000 years, it has stood as a sacred symbol of power, peace, and connection between heaven and humankind. Mount Tai is not just a mountain, it is a place of prayer, a throne of the sky. Emperors of ancient China once climbed its winding paths to perform rituals that linked their rule with the cosmos. Here they offered incense, bowed to the heavens, and declared harmony between man and the divine. The journey to its summit is steep and solemn. Stone steps, more than 7,000 in number, rise through forests, gates, and ancient temples. Each step holds history, each carving tells a story, and each breath drawn on the way up carries the scent of pine and old stone. As dawn breaks over the east peak, the sky blushes with color, and light spills across the land like a blessing. Watching the sunrise from Mount Tai has long been a sacred act, a moment where one sees not just the day begin, but life itself renewed. Along the way, temples whisper with incense smoke, cypress trees stretch like guardians of time. In the far reaches of western Sichuan, where clouds cling to jagged peaks and valleys run deep with silence, stands Mount Siguniang, the mountain of 4 sisters. It is a place where earth stretches skyward with quiet strength, and the line between legend and landscape begins to blur. The mountain gets its name from 4 snow-capped peaks, standing side by side like graceful sentinels. Locals say they are 4 sisters, gentle, proud, and protective, guarding the land and its people with silent devotion. Among them, the tallest is known as the 4th sister, rising higher than 5,000 meters, her summit piercing the sky with sharp elegance. Often wrapped in mist or touched by snow, she is called the Queen of Sichuan's peaks, beautiful, distant, and powerful. But Mount Siguniang, is more than its summits. It is a world of alpine meadows, glacial valleys, and pine forests that breathe with the wind. Yaks graze calmly in green pastures. Prayer flags wave from rocky outcrops. And eagles circle high above the ridgelines, carried by mountain winds. Three great valleys flow from the base of the peaks, Shuangqiao, Chongping, and Haizi. Each one offers a different path, a different rhythm. In the heart of Hunan province, where mist hangs low and cliffs rise high, there is a mountain that seems to belong to the sky itself. This is Tianmen Mountain, the mountain of Heaven's Gate, a place where nature, legend, and sheer wonder come together in breathtaking form. Tianmen Mountain is not the tallest in China, but it holds something rare, a presence. The air here feels different, charged with stillness and mystery. Its name comes from a vast natural arch carved into the mountain's face, a gate nearly 130 meters high, formed by time, wind, and rain. Locals call it the gateway to heaven, and when clouds pass through it, the name becomes more than just a story. Reaching the mountain's summit begins with a journey like no other. A cable car, one of the longest in the world, climbs from the valley below, soaring for more than 7 kilometers through forested slopes and deep ravines. As it rises, the view opens into a world of cliffs, rivers, and endless sky. The road to the gate is a marvel in itself, winding with 99 sharp bends, echoing the belief that the number 9 holds heavenly meaning in Chinese tradition. This road leads to a long stairway of 999 steps, where visitors climb through clouds toward the heart of the mountain. In the western hills of Hunan province, nestled beside a quiet river and wrapped in the arms of time, lies Fenghuang, the ancient town of the Phoenix. It is a place where stone alleys remember every footstep, and wooden homes lean gently over water, as if listening to the past. Fenghuang means phoenix, the mythical bird that rises from ashes, a symbol of beauty, rebirth, and spirit. And true to its name, the town feels eternal, as if born from legend, yet still breathing with life. Cobblestone streets wind through clusters of stilted houses, their wooden balconies resting above the green waters of the Tuo River. Red lanterns sway in the breeze, reflections shimmer beneath arched bridges. The sound of footsteps blends with the soft rhythm of paddles on water. Time slows here. Fishermen cast nets from narrow boats. Women wash clothes by the river's edge. Locals sip tea in open courtyards, surrounded by stories carved into ancient wood. There is no rush, only rhythm, memory, and quiet. Fenghuang has stood for more than 13 centuries. Its walls have seen dynasties rise and fall. Its bridges have carried merchants, scholars, and poets. In the heart of Shanxi province, where time seems to pause and the dust of centuries rests gently on old stone, stands Pingyao, an ancient city wrapped in walls, memory, and quiet pride. It is one of the best preserved walled cities in all of China, where the rhythms of the Ming and Qing dynasties still echo through narrow streets and silent courtyards. Pingyao is not a relic. It is a living scroll of Chinese history, written in grey brick timber beams and red lacquer doors. The city walls rise in strength, stretching more than 6 kilometers, crowned with watchtowers that once stood guard over a world of merchants, guards, and dreamers. Inside these walls, time moves differently. Stone-paved roads lead past ancient banks, family homes, and temples where incense still burns in the hush of morning. Wooden storefronts bear signs in calligraphy. Red lanterns hang beneath eaves. And each alley feels like a chapter, quiet, layered, unfolding with each step. This was once a financial capital, home to the very first draft banks in Chinese history. Here, in simple rooms with iron safes and long abacuses, merchants built trust that stretched across mountains and provinces. Silver and letters moved in place of coin, and a new kind of trade was born. At the eastern foot of Mount Gongga, where clouds hang heavy and the forest breathes with ancient rhythm, lies a world of ice, mist, and silence, the Hailuogou Glacier. It is a meeting place of opposites, fire and frost, motion and stillness, wilderness and wonder. This is a glacier unlike any other in China. It slides down from peaks that rise above 7,000 meters, cutting through valleys of dense forest and steaming springs. The contrast is stunning, hot water rising from the earth, ice descending from the sky. The glacier is alive, not in the way of animals or men, but with movement slow and sure. Its surface is a frozen river, cracking and groaning as it shifts, inch by inch down the mountain's flank. Beneath the white lies blue, ancient ice, pressed by time into translucent stone. Surrounding the glacier, fir trees and rhododendrons blanket the lower slopes. Mist clings to branches, water drips from leaves. This is a temperate rainforest, a rare world where the chill of ice meets the warmth of life. Above it all, Mount Gongga stands like a silent guardian, tall, proud. High in the misty mountains of Guangxi, where clouds rest among the peaks and valleys run deep, lies a masterpiece of earth and water, the Longji rice terraces. Known as the dragon's backbone, these terraces follow the contours of the hills in graceful curves, rising like scales of green and gold. Carved by the hands of the Zhuang and Yao peoples over centuries, each layer holds water like a mirror at dawn, reflecting sky and mountain in perfect harmony. In spring, The fields fill with rain, shimmering silver until the first shoots appear. Summer brings waves of emerald green as rice stalks sway gently in the breeze. In autumn, the terraces glow like molten gold, heavy with ripened grain. And in winter, when frost dusts the slopes, the terraces become art in silence, each contour outlined in frost. Paths and stone steps wind between each ledge, connecting small villages perched on ridges. Wooden houses with tiled roofs overlook the fields. Smoke from hearth fires curls in cold air. Farmers move along narrow mounds, planting, tending, and harvesting with a rhythm learned from land and season. Among the terraces, pockets of forest remain, where orchids, bamboo, and camellias bloom. Deep within the rugged heart of Xinjiang's Tianshan Mountains, a river has carved its path through rock over countless ages, shaping a gorge of staggering scale and silent drama, the Tianshan Grand Canyon. Here, earth and water have danced a slow, powerful dance, leaving walls of stone that rise like ancient sentinels. The canyon stretches for tens of kilometers, its depths plunging into shadows where sunlight barely reaches. Layers of rock display time's palette, shades of rose, amber, and rust, each stratum a chapter in Earth's long story. Vertical cliffs soar hundreds of meters overhead, their sheer faces etched with cracks, ledges, and the soft marks of wind and rain. Below, a river winds like a silver ribbon, its waters cool and clear, carrying the echoes of mountain springs. In springtime, meltwater swells with gentle force, rushing through narrow passages carved smooth by relentless flow. Later in summer, the current calms, revealing pools of jade where fish glide silently beneath overhanging rocks. The canyon floor is a world apart. Towering poplars and wild apricot trees find purchase in rocky crevices. Wild flowers cling to ledges, splashing color against gray stone. In the western reaches of Xinjiang, where rolling hills meet endless sky, lies the Nalati grassland, a sea of green that stretches as far as the eye can wander. Often called the last prairie of the Eurasian continent, it is a place where earth breathes in wide strokes and where every breeze carries the scent of wildflowers and fresh grass. Across gentle slopes and in hidden hollows, horses graze freely, their silhouettes dancing against the horizon. Herds of sheep move in silent bands, guided by shepherds on horseback, whose calls echo like song. Yurts cluster in valleys, their white domes rising like clouds on the meadow, offering simple shelter and warmth. Each season paints Nalati anew. In spring, the grass shoots in bright green, dotted with purple iris and yellow poppy. In summer, tall stalks sway under azure skies, and the scent of clover drifts on the wind. In autumn, the hills glow golden as wild mushrooms and berries ripen beneath the sun. Even in winter, when frost kisses the grass and the land lies quiet beneath pale light, the memory of warmth lingers in every breeze. Trails wind through the grassland, leading to shaded groves of willow and poplar beside crystal streams. Rising in the southern reaches of Anhui Province, Tianzhu Mountain emerges like a silent sentinel above rolling hills and mist-shrouded valleys. Its name means heavenly pillar, and here, stone spires pierce the sky, standing as ancient guardians of both land and legend. The mountain is carved from granite, its cliffs and pinnacles shaped by wind and rain over countless ages. Trails wind through forested slopes of pine and cypress, leading to hidden grottos and jade-green pools where water drips in gentle cadence. The scent of moss and wild orchid drifts on the breeze, mingling with the distant sound of waterfalls falling in silver threads. At the heart of Tianzhu, 3 peaks stand like pillars in a palace of stone. The main peak looms tallest, crowned by a natural arch known as the Eagle's Gate. Legend says that a great bird once soared through this stone doorway, carrying prayers from earth to heavens. Nearby, the West Peak and East Peak offer their own marvels, viewpoints where clouds swirl below your feet and the world unfolds in endless green ridges. Early pilgrims carved narrow steps into sheer rock faces, forging a path between sky and earth. Hidden in the misty hills of southeastern Guizhou lies the Libo Zhangjiang scenic area, a realm where water weaves through stone and forests rise amid ancient karst formations. Named a World Heritage Site for its primeval landscapes, this area feels like a secret world, shaped by rain, rivers, and time beyond memory. Rivers thread through narrow gorges, their clear waters reflecting emerald peaks and bamboo groves. The Fenghuang River winds through limestone towers, carving silent canyons lined with ferns and moss, creating natural corridors where every step reveals a new vista. Forest covers much of the land, yet this is no ordinary woodland. Towering karst pillars stand like stone sentinels amid verdant green, their tops crowned with shrubs and trees clinging to life in cracks and crevices. In spring, blossoms drift like pale confetti on the breeze. In autumn, leaves blaze with fiery red and gold, framing hidden pools and hidden caves. Waterfalls tumble from cliffs in silver ribbons. The Pearl Shoal cascade spreads wide and low, its gentle curtain misting the air as rainbows dance through droplets. Nearby, Silent Valley offers peace in still pools where water mirrors bamboo and sky, broken only by the soft ripple of a passing fish. In the heart of Yunnan province, where limestone beds rise like petrified waves, lies the Stone Forest Scenic Area, a labyrinth of stone pillars carved by time into haunting shapes and silent corridors. Here, earth and sky conspire to create a forest not of trees, but of stone. These karst formations stand like ancient guardians, their towering spires etched with grooves and hollows, shaped by wind and rain over millions of years. Paths weave between monoliths that resemble elephants, mushrooms, or crouching lions, each formation carrying a name and a story whispered by local legend. The Sani people have long lived among these stones, crafting myths of a young hero who danced on the rocks and turned them to stone with her laughter. Their songs rise through narrow gorges and echo against smooth walls, reminding visitors that this place is alive with memory. Morning mist drifts through the pillars like ghostly rivers, softening the edges and lending an air of mystery. Sunlight, when it breaks through, casts long shadows that shift with the passing hours, painting the stone forest in ever-changing hues of grey, silver, and pale gold. Beneath the stones, hidden valleys open to hidden pools fed by mountain springs. Ferns and wildflowers cling to rocky ledges, their green a vivid contrast to the stony grey. Here, the earth itself glows in shades of rust and rose. Danxia Mountain Scenic Area is a land of red cliffs, intricate peaks and hidden valleys carved by time. Formed over hundreds of millions of years, the red sandstone here has been sculpted by wind, rain and rivers into towering pillars, natural bridges, and gentle terraces that seem to burst from the forest. From the valley floor, Yangran Peak rises like a colossal phoenix beak, its sloping sides streaked with copper light at dawn. Nearby, the narrow ribbon of the Yungang Sky Road winds along steep walls, offering moments of vertigo and awe as it hugs sheer drops. Farther on, weathered stone arches, known as the Heavenly Bridge and the Water Curtain Cave, frame sky and foliage like living doorways to another world. Mist often drifts through the gorges, softening the sharp edges of the cliffs and giving each vista a dreamlike quality. In sunlight, the rock's warm tones glow, setting the surrounding pines, bamboo groves, and subtropical rainforest ablaze with contrast. Waterfalls cascade down hidden clefts, their clear streams singing over smooth stones before joining the lazy river that winds through the valley. Scattered among the peaks, ancient temples perch on ledges, their crimson walls echoing the mountain's palette. Where the yellow river narrows and surges, a thunderous roar rises from the canyon walls. This is Hukou Waterfall, a spectacle of power carved by the river's unyielding force. Straddling the border of Shanxi and Shanxi provinces, the waterfall is the largest on China's Great River and a dramatic meeting of water, rock, and history. As the river rushes through a gorge only a few dozen meters wide, its volume is forced downward in a mighty leap. The water plunges more than 20 meters, crashing into a swirling pool below, sending spray and mist high into the air. From above, the falls resemble a giant golden robe thrown over stone, named for its color and movement. On each bank, steep cliffs rise like ancient walls, their surfaces worn smooth by centuries of rushing water. Observation platforms cling to the rock, offering views into the frothing void. Visitors can feel the thunder in their chests and taste the spray on their lips as the river's energy pulses all around. Across the canyon, terraces of farmland cling to slopes, where villagers have lived alongside the river's power for generations. Their fields and homes stand in constant dialogue with the fall, shaped by its flow, nourished by its mist, humbled by its force. Carved into golden sandstone cliffs just outside the ancient city of Datong, the Yungang Grottoes stand as a silent testament to faith, artistry, and devotion. Here, more than 200 caves open onto a rocky hillside, each chamber filled with statues, reliefs, and carvings that capture the spirit of early Chinese Buddhism. Work began in the 5th century, under the Northern Wei dynasty, when emperors sought to unite the land through a shared faith. Artisans, monks, and laborers spent decades chiseling the cliffs, transforming stone into serene Buddhas, bodhisattvas, celestial guardians, and mythic creatures. Their hands shaped faces radiating calm, robes that ripple in stone, and intricate patterns that dance along every ledge. The largest statue soars nearly 17 meters in height, a seated Buddha whose presence dominates the surrounding grotto, inviting quiet reflection. Alongside, smaller figures cluster in thousands, disciples, musicians, donors, and guardians, each carved with delicate detail that survives the passage of more than 15 centuries. Light filters through cave entrances, illuminating ancient pigments still clinging to stone. Blues, reds, and golds accentuate halos and robes, offering a glimpse into the vibrant world of early Buddhist art. Carved into the limestone cliffs of the Yi River Valley, just south of Luoyang, lie the Longmen Grottoes, a treasure trove of stone carvings and Buddhist art that spans centuries. Here, over 100,000 statues, reliefs, and inscriptions fill narrow caves and open niches, transforming rock faces into a silent city of devotion. Work began in the late 5th century and continued through the Tang dynasty, drawing sculptors, monks, and patrons from across the empire. They chiseled colossi more than 17 meters tall, giant Buddhas whose calm faces gaze serenely over the valley, and clustered countless smaller figures around them, each one a testament to faith and craftsmanship. Entrances to the caves are crowned with ornate carvings. Dragons entwine with lotus blossoms, celestial musicians play stone lutes, and bodhisattvas stand in graceful poses, their robes flowing as though caught in an eternal breeze. On pillars and walls, inscriptions record prayers, dedications, and poems by emperors and pilgrims, offering a window into beliefs and society of ancient China. Sunlight filters through narrow pathways, illuminating carved halos and revealing traces of original pigments, reds, blues, and golds that once glowed vividly against the weathered stone. In shadowed recesses, Tranquil Buddhas seem to meditate in silence, while guardian figures stand alert, protecting the sacred spaces.